Good morning, everyone. So I normally share videos about what I like to do in my time off, since it's far more exciting than my days spent working. However, I wanted to share what a normal weekday is like for me because during my last job as a teacher, I couldn't show that part of my life due to the privacy of my students. I also wanted to chat with you a little bit at the end and answer some questions. As you know, my days start around 7 a.m. or earlier because my dog dictates my day. Each morning is different. I absolutely cannot stick to a schedule no matter how hard I try, though here I'll give some examples of how I might organize the day. I have recently been making it a priority to wake up early enough that I can read. It's always been difficult for my brain to instantly wake up and rush into work, so this way I can start at a slower pace. When I worked as a bookseller, I also tried to wake up a little early so that I didn't have to rush to my bus, which would always make me anxious. A little later in the morning, I am at my brand new workspace, which I finally have set up, though I've been moving things around a lot. This office space is not part of my house, and my brother and I rent it together now that he's helping me make the videos. I usually work here for several hours before going to the post office to send my packages. One challenge I've been facing with this job is that I'm not moving as much as I used to. Being a preschool teacher makes you into an athlete, and so I've started to put a timer to remind me to get up and stay active. And I think I will always miss that more physical part of my former job. But there are some positives as well. If you have worked with children before, you know it can be very hard to get snacks without feeling preyed upon. And this was a big problem for me, so I'm happy that I can now feed my body better and more often. As I work, I like to listen to audiobooks or music, which has been wonderful. I love to get immersed in a story while I'm wrapping packages. If you've seen my past videos, you know that I have struggled with being a bit of a workaholic in the past, and so listening to music or even just being in a peaceful space helps me stay centered and aware of when it's time to call it a night. Last year, I used to work into the early mornings and get very little sleep, and that was putting a strain on me. So while I still work late, I try to make sure that I'm getting some quality time at home to relax. I think that while most of us cannot escape a never-ending to-do list and being very busy, at least the time we have off, even if it's just a little, we can really make it count and try to find a few moments to breathe and ask ourselves, what did I gain from today? What little memory will I treasure? For me, my favorite thing from today was taking my dog on his walk and stopping by a little free library to give away a book and find my next one. I usually work late into the day, and obviously I skipped over most of it because it's boring. I spend most of my week this way, and the leftover days I try to focus on creating a video. so I do spend some time planning what exciting adventures I'll be sharing with you. For example, the late spring rains have finally come, and so I'll be taking you along in a mushroom foraging expedition next week. I am so very excited. A few of you have reached out recently wondering if I have any advice for those trying to maybe start their own business or start a new career path or possibly start a new hobby that could potentially turn into something that could supplement their income. Most likely a creative hobby. I think a lot of the people who have reached out to me are artists. And so I wanted to say that I don't really have any advice, unfortunately, because half the time I don't know what I'm doing. And I have only been self-employed for a matter of months. So this is still all so new to me. And so I don't really have much to say yet, but maybe in a few years I'll be able to offer some more advice. However, I thought I would share some guidance that was given to me when I went to my very first craft market, I think like 3 years ago, when I'd come out with my very, very first line of greeting cards. And a friend that I admire and respect very much gave me some advice that I thought I would share with you. And it may be useful to you on your creative journey or on your journey with rethinking your career or trying a new hobby that you might want to bring to farmers market or craft fairs, like where I started out. My friend told me that before I even started thinking about a business or turning my hobby into a part-time job or anything like that, that whatever I'm setting out to do, be it a project or even just decisions within my current career at the time, which was as an editor and a bookseller, was that before you start anything, to really consider what your personal philosophy is behind what you're doing. I think that's especially useful when you're trying to start your own business or start a YouTube channel or to create anything. What is the message you are trying to send, and how can you best convey that philosophy? When I first started thinking about making my first video, I took some time to really consider what was the message that I wanted my channel to convey. And I realized that I wanted it to convey the things that I really need in my life and I need to remind myself to put in my own life when things get busy. Having that philosophy already in place really helped me when my channel suddenly started to grow kind of overnight, and it was very overwhelming. But thankfully, I kind of already knew what I wanted to do, so it wasn't as scary as it may have been if I had been just putting out random videos and not really thinking about the message I wanted to convey. I see my own videos as kind of artistic creative short films that offer a haven from loudness and busyness for those who need it. So in my case, since my videos are supposed to be meditative, I decided that I didn't want to put advertisements in the middle of my videos to break up the calming atmosphere I was trying to create. I did the same in regards to sponsorships. I didn't really want to do sponsorships in my videos because, again, it would feel like I was breaking up the peacefulness. And of course, I need to say that putting advertisements or sponsorships in videos is a wonderful thing, and I 100% support creators who do that, especially because many of them need to rely on it to make a living. Of course, just because you have a firm philosophy doesn't mean your business is going to succeed. I was very lucky in this case, and I feel very lucky that my videos were noticed and that my business grew, but that just doesn't always happen. And why I still think having a philosophy is important is because even if this was still just my weekend job of spending a few hours every week just packaging a couple orders or working on a little video, even if it had just stayed as a hobby for years, I would still know that it was something that was very true to my heart, and I could look back on it and be very proud of everything I had done. But yes, I'm so excited for the future. I try to take a moment every night to take a deep breath and just remember that it's okay that you don't know what the future holds. And I don't know what will happen to my business or my channel in the future. And that's okay. That's part of the adventure and the excitement of it all. Anyway, I know that might not be that detailed advice, but it is something that has always helped me on my journey. And so I wanted to share it in case it could be possibly useful to you. I hope you enjoyed this video and that maybe it gave you a little bit of insight on what a weekday might look for me now. It's very different than what it was just a few months ago, and once the world is back to normal, it will probably be different again, since I will find ways to bring teaching back into my schedule. And so I am excited to share more with you. I would love to share the whole process of going to a farmer's market with you, which is something really exciting that I love to do. But I've not quite figured out how to do that while still keeping the privacy of people at the market. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I want to do it. So I will share that with you when I find a way. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night. Sending you my love, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.